Hello and welcome to the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and also welcome to part 2 with Charles Evans, our County Commissioner at Large. Now, Charles, we were having a very, very interesting conversation about voting, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's kind of pick up and talk more about that, the importance of voting.
Well, as you know, we have been through a number of struggles, even to this day, about voting rights. People are still trying to minimize your right to vote. I can remember sitting on the Fayetteville City Council and they wanted to change the number of people that represented districts, and they wanted to change the whole concept of the way the council was to voting a different way that would limit certain people from having the representation that they needed on that particular council. And I remember speaking and standing outside with a whole lot of other people, including, and this was across party lines, that people were out there protesting the way that, at that time, that they wanted the council to be formed or to represented. And that was hurtful. It was hurtful that we were reliving what had occurred before. And one thing that I don't want is it to reoccur where you really go through the gamut of trying to vote. Our ancestors fought very hard for black folks to get out to vote, to have that right. Dr. King, a number of individuals worked very hard and taken some blows. And I'm not just talking about verbally, but physically, to bring to the attention the cause for us to have that right to vote. And to be real honest with you, it hurts me to my heart to hear a person that's black say that they're not going to vote. Mm-hmm. There's no need for me to vote. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to vote for the person when the general election, or I'm just going to vote for the president. Mm-hmm. And see, the mindset is, what people believe is that, and I may be wrong, and I pray that I am wrong, that all the policies come from Washington, D.C. And that's so far off. All the policies that Washington, D.C. is dealing with start locally. Mm-hmm. So all politics is local. And I want our young people to know to keep the faith and believe in the process of voting. And whenever you feel the need to fight for that right to continue to vote, to do it. To do it. Don't be scared. Just do it, because it's something that needs to be done. And you got to remain vigilant on this, because things have a way of coming back to you. Yeah. And under our current administration, you do not know what's coming down the pipe with them. So I ask and I beg of the citizenry, just don't sit home on election day. I mean, they made it convenient. It's been made convenient that you have 17 days now before the actual election day.
That's right. I do early voting.
Yes, the early vote. That's exactly right. You know, for those individuals that have difficulty walking, there's somebody come to your car to bring you the information to vote. You can ask for ballots at home and vote at home and mail it in. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse to not vote. And I pray that our young people will get up and take a stand and go to these posts. Look at these children in Florida when they had the shooting at the school, and how they took a stand against the gun law there. And there were some things that were done a little differently because of that stand they took. So right now, until you have to do it verbally or physically, your stand is to vote. That's how you take your stand.
I concur. Charles, let's talk about the closing of the trailer park as well as the water issue.
You know what? It's a sad thing, and thank you for bringing that up regarding the trailer park in Spring Lake. There are residents out there that have not received, well, they're receiving water now because people have been very generous in donating water to those individuals. And I want to thank Carl Pringle for leading that effort and helping those individuals get water out there. There's an issue with the piping that's leaking. There's an issue because there's no water, the septic tanks are failing, and there are some individuals that's their home because those trailers were purchased, and by them being so outdated, that it's very unlikely that they can be moved. And people are looking for the county to possibly fix those leaks and also to move these individuals. But our hands are tied because that's private property. And it's a difficult situation because we're now trying to get in contact with the property owner of it. And from what I understand, we have a contact as far as a mailing address. And so certified mail have been sent to this individual. But it's a sad situation. And my prayer is that they come through it okay, and we as a county continue to do what we can. We have had 3 sessions out there with individuals that reside over there, giving them information about housing, about talking about possible funding, and even with Department of Social Services, they were there, and so they were given the information to why this is happening, why this can't be done, and what we can do for them. And the one thing that I do hate is that it's private property, and we cannot touch it. So there's a number of issues here in Cumberland County that people are going through, and it's heartbreaking to know that people have to endure these type situations. But as a county and as a board of commissioners, we will continue to do what we can to serve our citizens and to handle this situation the very best that we can.
Let's discuss the Gen X issue.
You know, I want to start off by saying that at one time, and I don't know if you remember or not, but there was a vote taken on whether to supply a certain particular part of the county with water. And at that time, the referendum was voted down because of fear of being annexed into the city of Fayetteville. Individuals liked being where they lived at. They liked being somewhat independent of the city. And so it was voted down. And so now the conversation has come up again because of Gen X. There's an issue where Chemours, and I hope I said that correctly, with DuPont, where they do Teflon for pots and pans, and some of the ingredients of it filtered into the water. And now these residents are fearful possibly receiving cancer or whatever the case may be because of this chemical in the water supply. And we're working very hard with the state. We're working very hard with what is known as DuPont. And we're working to come to some resolve for this issue. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Now, Charles, what is your vision for the city of Fayetteville?
My vision is that we do a yeoman's job in loving each other, doing what's right by each other, being fair, and making it really that all-American city that it can be. I've had the opportunity to deal with a number of people here in Cumberland County. I mean, all across lines, you have good people here. You have people, all they want is fairness. And I don't know if this is the angle that you wanted me to go in, but if you're going to do anything here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County, each and every person should be treated with the utmost respect and dignity and be treated fair. When any project comes out, and let me tell you about this being fair, is that in some neighborhoods, there are things that happen that don't happen in some neighborhoods. And maybe one neighborhood is not paying as much taxes as the one that's getting the attention. But we got to keep in mind, they are paying taxes and they are citizens of this great county. So everybody should be treated fairly. And I would like to see more cohesiveness between the city, the county, and I must give our mayor, Mitch Colvin, he's doing a fantastic job of trying to work with both governing bodies, and things are being accomplished. But I think that will set the path into Cumberland County and Fayetteville being a greater place to live.
Okay. Now, is there a contact number or a contact email that if someone has an issue and would like to address with you, that they can contact you?
Sure, they can contact me at 910-978-6643.
Okay.
And that's my cell number.
Okay, great. All right. Any final thoughts, Charles?
No, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be with you today and to talk about issues and concerns that are very dear to me, and that I guess the one thing that I would say is that since we were talking about voting, is to remind people when the opportunity arises for you to vote, get out and vote.
That's right, exactly. Well, I thank you so much, and I wish you well.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right. And thank you, audience, for viewing the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner. Have a good one.
Hypnotized, familiar stranger, wait, hold up, don't run, I don't bite. Familiar stranger.